Hello everyone and welcome to the Sciences Po Live broadcast dedicated to undergraduate programs offered on our campus in the city of Menton in France. I am Adrien Kenneth and I'm truly delighted that so many of you are able to be with us live on YouTube today. We're here to give you the most up-to-date information on the Menton campus, and to do so, several guests are with me today. To start with, by my side in the studio is Youssef Alawa, Director of the Sciences Po campus in Menton. Youssef, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Adrien. Hello, everyone.
And we also have three other guests who are with us remotely. Three international students from the campus in Menton. We have Alexia, Cyrine, and Luna, three international students from three different countries. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be here in just a few minutes. Now, to you viewers watching us live on YouTube today, should you have any question at this point, feel free to ask your questions in the chat box of this YouTube live session. Our four guests will be more than happy to answer a few of those questions in the second part of this broadcast. Now, before we get started with questions and answers, allow me to give you a quick overview of what the Sciences Po Bachelor of Arts is. The Sciences Po Bachelor of Arts is a unique program offered on 7 campuses in France in the cities of Dijon, Le Havre, Menton, Nancy, Poitiers, Reims, and Paris, where all students study the same core courses in the humanities and social sciences. Each regional campus offers a specific geographical minor that applicants have to choose when applying to Sciences Po. These minors enable students to delve deeper into the political, economic, legal, and social issues of a specific region of the world: Africa, Europe, Latin America, North America, Asia Pacific, and Mediterranean Middle East, which is the geographical minor offered on the Menton campus. The Bachelor of Arts is a 3-year multidisciplinary program in economics, law, history, humanities, political science, and sociology. In the first year, students delve into a core curriculum. In the second year, students choose a major which delves into 2 of the core disciplines offered at Sciences Po. And finally, in the third year, students must complete their studies abroad at one of Sciences Po's international partner universities. Now, today's broadcast is dedicated to undergraduate programs offered on the campus in Menton. And my first question goes to Youssef Alawa, Director of the Sciences Po campus in Menton. Youssef, as a start, could you tell us a little bit about the Sciences Po campus in Menton?
Yes, Adrien, with great pleasure. I often give the advice for those who want to better understand our campus to go to Google and to write Sciences Po Menton and then to click on pictures. You have, I think, the image here displayed on the screen. The building in the middle is the magnificent campus where Sciences Po is. Sciences Po located its Mediterranean and Middle Eastern campus in Menton in 2005. So here is the campus in the middle. Right here, this building, it's the residence for men. The city offers 18 places to live for students. And let me give you a few words about the geographical situation of the Menton campus of Sciences Po. So on the north you have the French Alps. You can see the mountains a little bit. On the south, the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. On the east, another country, Italy, and on the west, the Principality of Monaco. And maybe I can also give you, to describe the Menton campus, a few words about the specific spirit of this campus. It's a human-sized city, a small community, 400 students, an extremely strong alumni network. And I think, yes, when you studied in Menton for 2 years, Menton stays in your heart forever, and this is what we are trying to do on a daily basis.
It's a truly amazing location in between the French Alps, as we just saw, the French Alps and the Mediterranean Sea, Italy on one side, the French Riviera on the other side. It's a truly beautiful place. Thank you so much, Youssef. Now, the Menton campus has the particularity of offering the Mediterranean Middle East minor. How does this specific minor articulate with the rest of the Bachelor of Arts curriculum?
An important information to keep in mind is that the diploma students will get after their 3 years of Bachelor's of Art on the Menton campus is exactly the same than the one delivered on the 6 other campuses. When you are a student of Sciences Po, you are a student of Sciences Po, whether it is in Menton, in Reims, or in Paris. But then the specificity of the Mediterranean Middle East campus is that we offer within the core courses, the seminars, the workshops, the conferences organized on campus, the possibility for students to strengthen their understanding about this region, the Mediterranean and the Middle East.
And we understand the minor counts for about 20% of the overall Bachelor of Arts curriculum. Could you give a few examples of specific courses that are offered within this specific minor?
Yes, the academic journey on the Menton campus is organized throughout 4 semesters. Let me give you an example of specific courses on this topic, for example, on semester 2, semester 3, and semester 4. On semester 2, you can choose a course called The History of Jews. Semester 3, you can choose a class titled Sociology of Mediterranean Cities, and for example, semester 4, a class called Economies and Policies in the Middle East.
And you just mentioned 3 classes in history, sociology, and economics, which reflects the multidisciplinarity asset of the program. Thank you so much. Now, a word on the language of instruction. The language of instruction is either English or French. Is there any language prerequisites to apply to the program in Menton? And do international students get a chance to learn French while on campus?
On the Sciences Po campus in Menton, we have 2 official languages. French, we are a French university, it's located in France, and English. The first year, you have the possibility to choose whether what we call at Menton the English track or the French track. For the English track, it means first semester, second semester, all classes will be in English. The second year of studies in Menton is, let's say, an English year, and this is kind of something to keep in mind, especially for French students, because you need to get better in the English, because the second year is mainly all in English. And then, of course, for English-speaking students who join Menton campus, it's not that they can study French, it's they have to study French, to start French, and if they would like to choose then another language, but I think we will give some examples, they need to reach a minimum level of French.
So international students do learn French on campus. Students can also learn English, as you mentioned. What other languages courses are offered to students on campus in Menton?
We are extremely proud to offer, on top of our 2 official languages, 6 other languages that it's possible to start or to continue if you already have started one of these languages. We offer Italian, Spanish, Arabic, Hebrew, Persian, and Turkish. So 6 foreign languages which are closely linked to the Mediterranean and Middle East region, on top of the 2 official languages of the campus.
Thank you so much, Youssef. And to illustrate that international dimension of the campus, we have the pleasure of welcoming our first guest today, Alexia. Alexia, thank you so much for being with us. You are a first-year student on the campus in Menton. You are originally from Romania, where you did your secondary education. Alexia, what made you choose the campus of Menton and specifically the Mediterranean and Middle East minor?
Thank you so much for having today me, and also thank you so much for the question. When it comes to my choice per se, I've always been deeply interested in the Middle East and Mediterranean region. Yet I noticed how often in Romania, the place where I'm from, it's either overlooked or oversimplified in the traditional curricula. And so this gap made me curious, if you will. And so I started to search more and more on my own, reading, asking questions, and trying to understand better the historical and the political intricacies of the region. But then I realized that I wanted to go more beyond the surface level understanding, and I wanted to study the region in an academic setting, guided by professionals, alongside students who share the same interest as I did. And so the Mediterranean and Middle East minor offered exactly that rare opportunity to explore the region's dynamics from multiple perspectives in a truly international setting.
And you've been in Sciences Po for about a year now, because you're about to finish the first year of studies, undergraduate studies. The program is fully taught in English. Did you get a chance to learn French while at Sciences Po?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I'm a bit of a cheater here because I had already studied French when I was in Romania, and I also passed the DOLF C1 exam before arriving at Sciences Po. However, despite my level, I felt that I needed to improve my oral fluency and confidence, especially when it came to everyday conversations. So I continued to progress, enrolling myself in French C1 course taught at Sciences Po. And on top of that, I also took Turkish, which was taught mainly in French, another valuable way in which I reinforced the language, of course, in an academic setting.
And as we just said, you did your secondary education in Romania. You applied as an international student at Sciences Po. How did you prepare your application, and maybe how did Sciences Po help you with the process of integration?
Well, I discovered Sciences Po when I was in the 11th grade, and I immediately began preparing intentionally. I attended webinars, connected with alumni, seeking advice from friends that were previously admitted. And so, while the Romanian system gave me a solid foundation when it came to the information that I knew, I still need to check on some things because, as you know, Sciences Po has a rigorous evaluation. And this kind of poses a unique challenge of its own. Those insights truly helped me. And once I arrived, integration felt surprisingly smooth, thanks to the international atmosphere at the Menton campus. Moreover, everyone was just adjusting, which fostered a strong sense of community from the beginning. And if I may add here, also the campus administration was incredibly supportive. They helped us navigate everything from complex administrative procedures to day-to-day questions with patience and care.
Thank you, Alexia. As we said, you're about to finish the first year of studies. What's your best memory as a Sciences Po student so far?
That's a very interesting and tricky question because it's difficult to choose a single memory. So I would just divide my answer into two parts, the academic and the personal one. Academically and professionally, if I may, I've had the chance to engage in opportunities that were kind of beyond anything I imagined at this stage in my journey. For instance, I attended the Monaco Blue Initiative, interned with the United Nations for the third United Nations Conference on Oceans, participated in other high-level international events. So basically, all these experiences allowed me to step out of the classroom into the real-world diplomacy, and they simply wouldn't have been possible without Sciences Po. But then, just as impactful as they were, everyday moments that shaped my personal experience were also really, like I said, very important for me because from late night study sessions with friends to some spontaneous picnics by the seaside and other long conversations that began, of course, as academic debates and ended in laughter. Every single one of these memories are very important for me, and I carry them most vividly.
And you mentioned on-campus courses, but also experiences that you did outside of campus. Let's talk also about student activities. You're a member of several associations on campus, including Amnesty International, UNICEF, the European Society, among others. Could you tell us what student activities are like in Menton?
Yes, of course, that would be my pleasure. So, as highlighted by your question, student life in Menton can be incredibly dynamic. Let's just call it like that. So associations aren't just an optional add-on, they're kind of central to the campus culture and student identity. And so each and every association focuses on a different theme, from human rights to consulting to regional politics. For instance, last year, through Amnesty International, the Menton branch that we have on our campus, I got the chance to take part in human rights monitoring on the Franco-Italian border. Another example would be through Global Research and Consulting Group, where I've built some professional skills in real-world contexts as a consultant. So these experiences naturally led me to take on more responsibility, and now I'm preparing to lead the events board for Amnesty International, while also serving as head of operations and consultant development for Jersey. So these roles are, for me, let's say, more than just titles. They reflect the Menton spirit and the student initiative and leadership that everyone can have. And also, what truly sets Menton apart is that students don't just participate in these associations, they actually shape them, and they shape the spaces in which they found themselves. So associations become platforms for creativity, for leadership, for tangible impact. And beyond this professional growth that each and any of us can kind of relate to, we have the real world connections that are being made. For instance, some of my closest friendships began through the shared energy of organizing events, running campaigns, and building other projects together.
Thank you so much, Alexia, for your testimonial, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Now back in the studio with Youssef Alawa, director of the Sciences Po campus in Menton. Youssef, let's have a words on applicants and students. Many of the viewers watching us live today hopefully are future applicants to the program in Menton. What is a typical Bachelor of Arts Mediterranean Middle East minor applicant? What type of students are you looking for?
It's a question we often have when we visit high schools. Students ask us who I should be to have the possibility to enter Sciences Po. And the answer is really clear: you have to be yourself. It may sound really simple. We are not looking for students who will, tick some specific characteristics. Should you have scientific, literary background, whatever your high school is located, whatever country. What is true is that an application to Sciences Po is serious. It needs work, discipline. It's not easy. A lot of students are applying to Sciences Po, so you have to prepare it extremely seriously. But be yourself, be true to who you are, especially when meeting the jury during the oral interview. And if I may add a last advice, the only people who are entitled to tell you you will enter or you will not enter is Sciences Po. It's not your friends, it's not your teachers, it's not your inside voice. Trust your qualities. Work hard and believe that it's possible, and if it's possible, great. If not, well, for sure you will find something that will make you happy.
So there's no academic backgrounds prerequisites in terms of disciplines, but what academic backgrounds do students have? What type of high schools do they come from? What kind of programs did they attend?
We will talk about it in more details in a moment, I think, but the specificity of the Menton campus is the fact that we are really diverse, internationally speaking. Students are coming from many countries. A high school in France do not look like a high school in Argentina or a high school in South Korea. What is clear in whatever high school is that we look for the best applicants. So you have to have good grades, you have to be serious, teachers have to write positive feedback on your behavior, on your dedication at school, but we do not have specific criteria. Whatever background is welcomed at Sciences Po.
You mentioned the great diversity of origin of students in terms of nationalities. They come from all over the world, as you mentioned. How many nationalities are represented on campus, and what are the international students' main countries of origin?
We are extremely proud of that in the Mediterranean Middle East campus of Sciences Po. This year on campus we had 71 nationalities, 71. I did not count exactly the countries of the surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, but for sure it's less than that. We have students coming from North America, we have students coming from Venezuela, we have students coming from North Africa, from Southeast Asia, from Japan. So 71 nationalities represented on campus this year. And if I can give you the list of the 6 main nationalities within the first year prom this year, we have the United States of America, Great Britain, Romania, Turkey, Italy, Spain. Of course, I didn't talk about France, because France is the first nationality in terms of number of students, and approximately on average we have 55% of students coming from abroad, outside France.
So more than half of students come from another country than France. Thank you so much, Youssef. So far we've been talking about the 3-year Bachelor of Arts program. What are the other undergraduate programs offered on the Sciences Po Menton campus?
Something else that we are extremely proud about in the Sciences Po campus in Menton is the fact that when you apply to Sciences Po, you will see that you have the possibility to choose one of the 10 dual degrees offered by Sciences Po with an international university abroad, outside France. And out of those 10, 8 are offered on the Sciences Po campus in Menton. I will just give you a couple of examples. For example, in North America and in Europe, you can decide to enroll in a dual BA with Columbia, New York, with Berkeley University of California, with the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, with University College London, UCL London, or with LUIS in Rome.
Thank you so much, Youssef. Yeah, Sciences Po offers 10 international undergraduate programs. You mentioned a few of them. UCL, Columbia, Berkeley, the University of British Columbia, also NUS, National University of Singapore, Hong Kong University, and the University of Sydney, plus the LUIS University that you mentioned in Rome, which so 8 of those dual degree programs are offered on the campus in Menton. Maybe a word on the Seas and Oceans certificate and the Gender and Equality certificate. What are those?
Yes, so on top of those 8 dual degrees offered in Sciences Po, during the 2 years that you spend in Sciences Po, if I may just add regarding the 8 dual degree, it means that traditionally when you are let's call it like that, simple student at Sciences Po, you go for a 3rd year abroad. When you are enrolled in a dual degree, after the 2 years in Menton, you go for 2 years in our partner university. And regarding the Seas and Oceans certificate and the Gender and Equality certification offered by the Menton campus, it concerns about, it means that during the 2 years you can choose seminars, workshop, or regarding the seas and ocean topics, or to strengthen your skills in the gender-based studies. So some seminars in the 1st year, some seminars in the 2nd year. Then you have to also choose an experience within the civic learning program, or linked with the seas and ocean, or linked with the gender and equality topics. And after that, after your 3rd year, within your graduation, you get this certification.
Great. Dual degree programs, you mentioned international dual degree programs last for 4 years, 2 years in Sciences Po, 2 years at the partner university. The regular Bachelor of Arts program is a 3-year program. Do dual degree students and regular Bachelor of Arts students study together? Do they share the same classrooms? Are they blend together?
Absolutely. They are part of those 400 students that we have on campus. It's true that within those 8 dual degrees, a large majority of them is in the English track for the first year. Then second year, everybody is together, and if you remember, second year is mainly taught in English. But regarding the artistic workshops, the conferences, sports, which are organized Friday morning on campus, outside activities, all students are together.
Great. Thank you so much. We mentioned the dual degree, the undergraduate international dual degree with the Columbia University in the city of New York, and we have the pleasure of welcoming a student from this dual degree program. Cyrine, thank you so much for being with us. You are a second-year student on the Menton campus. As I said, you are enrolled in the dual degree with Columbia University in the United States. You did your high school in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. What have been your favorite classes in year 1 and year 2 in the Mediterranean and Middle East minor on the Menton campus?
Hello, and thank you for having me. So throughout my 2 years at Sciences Po Menton, there were quite a lot of classes that I did enjoy. If I had to pick for my first year, I would say that it was Introduction to Economics, which then pushed me to major in Economics and Societies during my second year. And then throughout my second year, I was really fond of microeconomics, Thinking Like a Lawyer, or international organizations and transnational actors, which I felt was very different to the other classes I was taught in Sciences Po, in the sense that it allowed us to have a more hands-on experience and actually meet individuals that worked in specific international organizations and multiple transnational actors. So I think it was really enriching for me and to get a better understanding of even what I might want to turn to later on in the future.
You are about to finish the second year of the program, meaning you'll be in New York City anytime soon now, by the end of the summer. What would be the most memorable experience you had in year 2 in Menton?
I would say that there were a lot of things that were really memorable and that I'll carry with me. But one of my favorite experiences outside of the academic experience would be the mini crits, which is a sportive and arts competition that reunites all of the Sciences Po Paris campuses in one given location. And it's just 3 days of sports, artistic performances, and it really kind of brings together a whole community, and it gave me amazing memories with my friends, and was a great final goodbye, in my opinion.
You mentioned courses, but also student activities. Let's talk about the Civic Learning Program, which is an important component of undergraduate studies at Sciences Po. It's a program that allows students to develop social and civic responsibilities. In year 1, you went to Greece at YSR Yoga and Sports for Refugees. And during your second year, you did your civic learning program at the youth services of the town hall of the city of Menton, both a very international and a very local experience. Could you tell us what your civic learning program consisted of?
Yeah, so during my first year, as you said, I was in Greece. So I had the amazing opportunity to bring together sports, so which is something I'm very fond of in general, and discover new environments. So I helped refugees through sportive activities. It really kind of helped me gain experience on how to organize activities on a higher scale, get a better understanding of how those associations work, and meet people from different backgrounds and that lived in precarious situations, so get a better understanding of that as a whole. And for my second year, I was in the town hall so the youth services, which was once again very hands-on experience where I was in direct contact with a younger population in that case. But it really gave me a more administrative overview of how the town hall is organized, how it works, and it gave me higher knowledge on how to bring my skills to a team and how to really figure everything out and make sure that a situation happens and organize events accordingly.
Thank you so much, Cyrine. As we said, hopefully viewers watching us today are future applicants to the program in Menton. What advice would you give to a high school student willing to join the program in the coming years?
It might sound a bit cliche, but I think my advice or what I would have liked to hear as a high school student is probably that obviously you're going to be living alone unless you have roommates, but usually students in Menton tend to live alone, which might sound a little obvious, but I think that was my biggest challenge personally, since you live away from family, you need to figure everything out on your own. So every single task, all your little everyday tasks, you really need to organize your day accordingly, make sure that you get everything done in time. You also need to have a lot of self-discipline, which really goes hand in hand with that, and organize your day, make sure you allocate enough time for schoolwork, but also for your social life. So I think juggling between the two was the biggest challenge in my opinion.
Final question, Cyrine. You are also very involved in sport activities as a member of the Sports Association Bureau des Sports. You're the captain of the rugby team, you're the vice captain of the basketball team, and you're also a player of the soccer team. Could you tell us what sport activities are like in Menton?
Yeah, so I think sports were one of my highlights during my time in Menton, not only for the actual sport in itself, but also because the vibe in Menton is very great. It's kind of like a tight-knit community, so everybody knows each other and it gives a very good team spirit. So I think even during trainings, it was always really nice to wake up in the morning, go to training, meet some people, build some friendships. So in that aspect, it was really nice. And there was also, since Menton is by the sea, the after training swims were always the best.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Cyrine, for your great testimonial. We'll get back to you in a few minutes. Now back with Youssef Alawa, director of the Sciences Po campus in Menton. Youssef, we mentioned how in year 3 students study abroad at one of Sciences Po's partner universities. Do students enrolled in the Mediterranean and Middle East minor necessarily spend their 3rd year abroad in the Mediterranean or Middle East region?
Good news. Adrien, they have the choice. They have the choice because either they can go, if they want to make their journey coherent, they can go to a country in the Mediterranean and Middle East region, or if they would like to stay open to the world, they can choose to travel and to spend a whole year of exchange in a university in North America, in Argentina, in Vietnam, or in China, for example. So they can do both. They have the choice.
Could you, you mentioned a few countries. Could you give an examples of a few universities where students spend their 3rd year abroad?
Yes, with pleasure. If I try to remember what will happen with the students traveling to 3rd year abroad in a couple of weeks, some of them will go to IE, Instituto de Empresa in Madrid, Spain. Some will go to Cairo. We have the American University of Cairo. Some, actually, I visited them last year in Rabat, the capital of Morocco, the University Mohammed VI Polytechnique. We also have the possibility to go to Rome, for example, to Luis, since Italy is a country really close to Menton, to Bocconi in Milan. Unfortunately, the Middle East, as you know, is struggling with difficult times, if to say it in a very simple way. Before, it was possible to go to Beirut, to Lebanon, to Israel, but even to Palestine. But those destinations, for now, are closed, and hopefully they will be open soon.
And as you said, students not only go to the Mediterranean and the Middle East region, but more broadly, pretty much everywhere in the world, North America, Asia, Africa, Oceania, you name it, right? Because Sciences Po has about 450 partner universities, which gives a lot of options. And then when students come back from this third year abroad, they graduate from the Bachelor of Arts. Do students pursue graduate studies after graduation? If so, in which universities and to what programs do they go?
This is a strength about Sciences Po, and something very specific that we propose to the students is the fact that when you enter, when you are admitted to Sciences Po as a first year student, you have a guaranteed spot in a graduate program within one of the schools, one of the masters we offer in Paris. It's kind of easy to remember. On the undergraduate level, you have 7 campuses throughout France, and on the graduate level, the masters in Paris, you have 7 schools. Usually students tend to continue their graduate studies in Sciences Po in Paris, in one of the 7 schools. Let me just give you 3 examples out of those 7. For example, the Paris School of International Affairs. All the masters there are taught in English, so usually it's a school that is really popular within the Menton community. But we also have the School of Journalism, or for example, the School of Public Affairs.
And it's about 90% of undergraduate students at Sciences Po that pursue graduate studies at Sciences Po, because as you mentioned, once students join an undergraduate program at Sciences Po, they can pursue a master's program without applying again to Sciences Po. You mentioned 3 graduate schools, and here are the 4 others. Also the Schools of Management and Impact, the School of Management and Impact, the Urban School, and the School of Research, and the Law School, which makes a total of 7 graduate schools. As you said, Youssef, thank you so much. Now to talk a little bit more about the third year abroad we just mentioned, we have the pleasure of having Luna with us. Luna, you are a third year student at Sciences Po. You are both French and Italian. You did your high school at the French International High School Jean Giono in Turin, Italy. You are right now doing your third year abroad at the American University in Cairo in Egypt. You are in Egypt as we speak. What made you choose this specific university, the great American University in Cairo, Egypt?
Hi, so thank you so much for having me. So first, when I was in Menton, I had the opportunity of starting learning Arabic. And so that's what brought me to wanting to continue learning Arabic in my year abroad. So there are a couple of universities in the Middle East. So for example, in Jordan, but also here in Cairo that offer intensive Arabic program. So this is what I did for 2 semesters. I was studying Arabic 25 hours per week. I was studying modern standard Arabic, but also Egyptian Arabic. And yeah, so of course the 4 hours in Menton were not enough to learn. So that's why I decided to join the American University and its program, because it's a really well-known program for Arabic.
And apart from learning the Arabic language, what was your favorite experience during that third year abroad in Cairo?
Well, I guess it's a bit cliche, but of course, discovering a new culture through new religions, through history, but also through food. I had the opportunity of traveling a lot in Egypt. I also discovered, of course, Cairo, which is a city now I love. But also, I traveled to Turkey and Jordan to see some of my Menton friends. But I would say also that actually the last month, I had the opportunity of working with a couple of NGOs with Sudanese refugees, and also with a social shelter with some Egyptian girls. And so that, of course, gave me a different perspective on Egypt. So that would be my favorite, yeah, experience.
And you did spend 2 full years at Menton prior to going to Egypt for your third year abroad. Is there something memorable you can share with us about the city of Menton? What are the advantages of studying in Menton?
Well, of course, I have a lot of memories of Menton. I think it's a bit the little things in the end. It's like spending a lot of time with my friends, be in our houses, also on the beach, but also on campus, like on the parvis, eating there under the sun, having the view of the sea. But I think, yeah, it's also like where the campus is situated, as we said before, like you're not far from Italy. We used to do sometimes our groceries there. And for me, it was also associations wise, I have a lot of memories with the people I worked with, and especially some high school students that were coming from Italy and France, with whom I have a lot of memories. Um, and um, and yeah, I think that it's all of that. And then Sciences Po also is I think an amazing place to study in, and especially Menton and the Mediterranean campus, because especially for me, like I lived for 1 year here in Egypt, and Sciences Po gave me really great foundation on the culture of the Middle East, its history, and actually like as a little funny anecdote, but the musics we used to listen in Menton from the Arab world or the same music that we listen to here in Egypt. So that, of course, helped me socially in a way. So I think Menton helped me a lot during my third year abroad in Egypt.
Luna, you are about to graduate from the Bachelor of Arts program at Sciences Po. You will pursue a master's graduate program next year on the Sciences Po Paris campus, a master in regional and urban strategy at the Sciences Po Urban School, which is a program at the crossroads of urbanism and public policy. What were the stages of building your choice of graduate studies while at Sciences Po?
Well, so first, it wasn't really easy for me, but then I'm also I discovered also that I'm a person who needs concrete stuff and concrete topics, and I think that the urban school really answered these expectations for me because they are like collective projects, field trips, and all of that. And then I think also that when I was in Menton, I had some classes which helped me to start discovering urbanism. Actually, I followed the urban sociology seminar, but also a seminar on urban heritage, which I really loved and opened me the idea of starting studying urbanism. But also through my civic learning program, I had the opportunity of tackling this topic. And then, of course, the last thing was discovering Cairo, a city that is totally different from European cities and that has a really different urban planning. And so that's why I chose this master.
Thank you so much, Luna, for such a great testimonial. Now is the time for our Q&A session. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for the many questions you've been asking in the chat box of this YouTube live session. And here is the first question from our viewers, a question for Alexia. Alexia, first-year student at Sciences Po on the Menton campus. Alexia, let me read the question out loud for you. You mentioned several clubs and activities you participate in. How do you balance your studies with extracurricular activities, and what advice would you give to a new student for managing their time effectively?
So much for the question. Well, it's true that sometimes the schedule here on campus can be quite hectic just because you see so many attractive associations, you see so many cool things that you want to do, and somehow at the end of the day, you arrive to like have maybe in your sleep schedule around 5 hours, which is not great. Like I'm gonna be very honest with you. But nevertheless, this was one of my very first mistakes on a campus. And I think it's really important for everyone to realize that it's really important to plan your day out beforehand. I don't want to sound like a finance bro. I don't want to sound like someone that is trying to give you this career path advices, but honestly, this worked the best for me. Trying to put down on my schedule everything that I need to do, both for school and for association, so that I won't let down any of my commitments. And this was the thing that worked the best for me. And nevertheless, like I mentioned, and I really stress this, don't forget to also have some time free for your friends and for some time to like actually explore the region because it's very beautiful. As Luna stressed, it's something that will change you completely.
Thank you so much, Alexia. Now we have another question for Youssef Alawa, director of the Sciences Po campus in Menton. How are students from the Menton campus connected with students from the 6 other Sciences Po campuses in France?
To say the truth, it's more a community linked with the Menton campus. We are far away from all other campuses. I mean, when you look at the map, we are the last French city before Italy. But 400 students, human-sized city, an extremely intense and linked community, many activities on campus, in town, in the region. But some events, and we mentioned them, for example, the art events, sport events are gathering campuses, and the campus which is hosting these events is changing every year. So it's mainly through that you get to know and then keep in touch with the students from other campuses. But to say the truth, within the 2 years in Menton, you strengthen the links within Menton, with the students from Menton. Then you travel abroad. And then when you come to Paris, you kind of have something in common with the students who were also on regional campuses, and you get to know them while being in a graduate program on the Paris campus.
Thank you so much, Youssef. Now we have a question for Cyrine. Cyrine, second year student in Sciences Po. Cyrine, let me read the question out loud for you. You are about to make the transition from Sciences Po in France to Columbia University in the city of New York, USA. Is it easy to find housing in New York? How are Sciences Po and Columbia University helping you with the process of transitioning from Menton to New York?
So that's a great question, actually. It was something that I was quite worried about because housing in New York can be quite challenging to find. But thankfully, I was accompanied by both Sciences Po and Columbia, so I had an academic advisor that was given to me. And that academic advisor was fully aware of the situation and knew how to handle those double degrees between Sciences Po and Columbia. I personally am in Columbia housing, which is an option guaranteed and given to all dual degree students. You can also choose to rent an apartment on your own outside of the Columbia housing system. But I think that thankfully it was quite easy to find housing through this Columbia application process.
Thank you so much, Cyrine. Now we have another question for Youssef Alawa, director of the Sciences Po campus in Menton. A question about language of instruction. We mentioned how the Sciences Po Menton offers both a French track and an English track. Here is the question. I am fluent in both French and English. Can I take classes in both languages? Meaning, can students pick classes in French or in English as they like if they speak both languages?
The answer is a no and yes. No, because when you are enrolled in the English track, first semester, mandatory courses, everything in English. Starting from semester 2, first year, semester 2, you can choose one seminar. Some seminars are in French, some seminars are in English, and if you are in English track fluent in French, You can choose a French seminar if the topic is interesting to you. Same for second year. Most of the classes are offered in English, but some seminars, semester 3, it means first semester of second year, and last semester, semester 4, are offered in French. So if you would like, it's possible.
Thank you so much, Youssef. We now have a question for Luna. Luna, you're a third-year student at Sciences Po. You'll do a master's program next year. We have a question about skills in public policy that you gained at an undergraduate level at Sciences Po. Let me read out loud the question for you. You mentioned your interest in urbanism and public policy, which will be the topics of your graduate degree at Sciences Po next year. What skills gained at Sciences Po do you consider essential for a career in public policy?
Well, I think, of course, there are two aspects which are really important and which we stressed while we were speaking through the slide. But I think, of course, academically, we learned, like, in a way, like public policy is related to so many subjects. I mean, it's related to law, but then also sociology. And sometimes it has also different scales, right? So I think that also living on the Menton campus and being in such a small town, you also realize how important the scales are when we're talking also about public policy. So I think that in general, all of our classes, I think, tend to go through maybe public policy, and especially the law. I think especially law and sociology. But then I think also that on the associative side, I think we also gained a lot of skills and like practical skills. And I think, and it's not even related if you were or not in an association related to public policy or not, but it's more because we gained so many skills. I think like social skills, also like, for example, writing emails or just like talking with people from like different backgrounds and just like interacting with students and organizing, I know, big projects. For example, I was in Menton, and that's like a big association where we host 500 students every year. And of course, I gained so much from this, and I think that, of course, this is something I'm going to use after in my career. And yeah, so I think that the academic aspect and of course the associative aspect are really important.
Thank you so much, Luna. And now we have a final question for Youssef Alawa. Youssef, at the very beginning of this broadcast, you pointed on the picture you showed us housing buildings for students at Sciences Po right next to the campus. We have a question about housing options at Sciences Po. What are the housing options? Is there on-campus housing for all, or do some students need to find housing on their own?
So within the building, which is the campus, we do not have a housing possibility for students. But we have a partnership with the city of Menton since the start of the Sciences Po adventure in 2005, which offers us and to the students 18 places for men, 28 places for women in a shared residence with a really affordable monthly rate. It's around from 200 to 300 euros a month. It can go from a single room to shared room with one student or two students. But we are 400 students. You do the calculation, 28 plus 18 is not, do not equal 400. So all the rest of the students need to find by themselves housing. We help them, of course, especially because there is a website designed by Sciences Po where the owners of apartments of Menton can publish their offer. One of the main student association on campus helps also students. Students traveling abroad for the third year live free space in an apartment in town. And what's really interesting, I kind of do not exactly understand why it's like that, but 99.8% of students decide to live in Menton. There is a train, there are buses, you could live in Roquebrune, you could live in Nice, but all the students, and it's working since the start, live in Menton, so it's possible.
Which probably participates in the strong sense of local community that you all have been talking about in this broadcast. Thank you so much, Youssef. Our information session is now coming to an end. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for attending. We hope that we were able to answer all the questions you had on undergraduate programs offered on the Sciences Po campus in the city of Menton, France. We hope to see you again at Sciences Po soon. Thank you so much, Alexia, Luna, Cyrine, and Youssef for being with us today. Again, we hope to see you again at Sciences Po soon. Thank you very much, and goodbye.